You tell strangers your passwords. Your phone unlocks with your face. Your location is shared with apps you've never thought about. Your conversations travel through invisible servers on the other side of the world. And yet, somewhere deep inside you, one instinct refuses to disappear. You still hide things. Not because you're guilty, because your brain was built long before passwords existed. The real question is, why you keep secrets? It's why humans ever started keeping them in the first place. For almost all of your species' existence, hiding information made almost no sense. Imagine living 50,000 years ago. You wake up beside the same 20 or 30 people every morning. You hunt together, eat together, sleep beside the same fire every night. There are no locked rooms, no private messages, no closets full of forgotten memories. Almost everything happens in public. If someone finds food, everyone notices. If someone gets injured, everyone knows. If two people argue, the entire group watches. Life is astonishingly transparent. So where could a secret even exist? At first glance, nowhere. Anthropologists studying modern hunter-gatherer societies have noticed something fascinating. Groups that depend on one another for survival often discourage hoarding information. Knowledge about water, animals, edible plants, and danger spreads quickly because everyone's survival depends on it. Sharing keeps people alive. But that's only half the story, because humans aren't just cooperative, they're competitive. The moment your ancestors discovered that information itself could become valuable, something extraordinary happened. Imagine you're the only person who knows where a hidden patch of sweet berries grows. Do you tell everyone? Or do you wait until tomorrow, quietly return, and gather them yourself? That tiny decision may have changed human history. Information had become a resource, not food, not tools, knowledge. And unlike food, knowledge doesn't disappear when you use it. It grows. Researchers studying human cooperation often describe information as one of the earliest forms of social currency. Long before money existed, knowing something that others didn't could increase your influence, improve your chances of finding a mate, or strengthen your position inside the group. Suddenly, silence had value. But keeping information hidden wasn't easy. Your ancestors lived face to face. Everyone watched everyone else. If you suddenly disappeared every afternoon, someone would ask questions. If you returned carrying extra food, someone would notice. The challenge wasn't simply hiding the information, it was hiding the fact that you were hiding something. That required something no other animal had fully mastered: theory of mind. It's a scientific phrase, but the idea is surprisingly simple. You understand that other people have minds different from yours. They have beliefs, expectations, suspicions, and those thoughts can be manipulated. Children don't fully develop this ability until around 4 or 5 years old. Before then, they struggle to understand that another person can believe something that isn't true. Once that ability appears, something remarkable follows almost immediately. Children begin telling lies, not because they're bad, because their brains have discovered a completely new possibility. You can control what exists inside someone else's mind. Imagine the first human who truly understood this. Not just hiding food, hiding intentions, pretending not to know, smiling while planning something entirely different. That moment transformed social life forever. Because now, every conversation had two versions: what was said and what was meant. Archaeologists can't dig up ancient secrets. Secrets leave no fossils, but they can see indirect clues. Around 100,000 years ago, humans began making increasingly complex ornaments, pigments, and symbolic objects. These weren't just practical tools, they carried meaning. And meaning only works if people share hidden knowledge. A shell around your neck isn't valuable because it's a shell. It's valuable because everyone secretly agrees on what it represents: status, identity, belonging. From that point onward, human society became layered. Visible actions, invisible meanings, shared symbols, private thoughts. You were no longer surviving only through strength. You were navigating invisible worlds inside other people's minds. Psychologists sometimes call humans the most intensely social species on Earth, not because we live in large groups, many animals do that, but because we constantly predict what everyone else is thinking. Right now, while watching this video, your brain is guessing what I'm about to say next. You do it automatically. The same mental machinery helps you understand jokes, detect sarcasm, recognize embarrassment, and of course, keep secrets. Robin Dunbar, whose research connected brain size with social group size, argued that humans evolved extraordinary social intelligence because relationships became too complicated for simple instincts alone. You couldn't remember only faces. You had to remember alliances, promises, arguments, who trusted whom, who disliked whom, who knew which secret. The human brain slowly became a living map of invisible relationships. But secrets created a new problem: trust. If information gives power, why trust anyone at all? Because complete secrecy is impossible. Eventually, you need allies. You need someone to help you hunt, raise children, protect you while you sleep. That means revealing pieces of yourself, not everything, just enough. Trust, in many ways, became the careful exchange of controlled secrets. I'll tell you something about me. If you protect it, I'll know you're safe. Modern psychologists have found that sharing personal secrets often increases emotional closeness far more than sharing ordinary facts. You're not exchanging information, you're exchanging vulnerability. And vulnerability creates connection. That's why friendships often begin with small conversations, then slowly become deeper. Each shared secret is like placing another stone into a bridge. Strong enough, and someone walks across. Weak enough, and the bridge collapses. This balancing act shaped civilizations. Kings hid military plans. Merchants protected trade routes. Religions developed sacred rituals known only to initiates. Scientists kept discoveries private until they could prove them. Even today, entire economies depend on information that only a few people know. Stock markets, national security, encryption, patents, passwords. The oldest technology in human history might not be the spear. It might be selective silence. And yet, your brain still struggles with it. Have you ever accidentally revealed something you promised to keep secret? It feels almost physical, as though the information wanted to escape. Neuroscientists have found that suppressing thoughts requires continuous mental effort. The brain repeatedly monitors itself, making sure the forbidden information stays hidden. Ironically, this constant monitoring often makes the secret even harder to forget. The more you try not to think about it, the more it appears. Perhaps that's why secrets have always carried emotional weight. They aren't just stored, they're maintained every day, sometimes for decades, sometimes for a lifetime. But here's the twist few people realize. The greatest secret humans ever invented wasn't about food, or power, or survival. It was the idea that every human mind could contain an invisible inner world that belongs only to them. A place no one else can fully enter. Your thoughts, your memories, your fears, your dreams. That invisible private world became one of the defining features of being human. Every conversation since then has been a bridge stretched between two hidden minds, each revealing just enough to understand the other without ever giving away everything. So the next time you hesitate before sending a message, the next time you decide to keep one thought to yourself, or the next time someone whispers, "Don't tell anyone," remember this: you're not simply protecting information. You're using one of the oldest social technologies your ancestors ever created. Because the day humans invented secrets wasn't the day they became dishonest. It was the day they discovered that every human mind could contain an invisible inner world. and thousands of generations later, you're still living inside one.